Zhao Xintong to break.
So Zhao Xintong, he needs a 2-all draw. And he's going to be into the last 32 of this tournament, into the next phase, into Winners' Week. Yes, David Hendon, he's a big favourite, isn't he? But the way Miah has potted at times today, I don't think we can say that Zhao's a certainty.
No, but you're right, but it's not just the single potting. He's got to make some breaks, I think. He's got to basically keep Zhao off the table because he's very dangerous, as you say. So he's got him there with a nice pot, but he's got to now do some damage scoring-wise and not hand openings to Zhao Xintong. But a good position to be in, isn't it? Always missed the black, having said all that. I was going to say good position to be in, to be coming into the match with a chance to win the group. Zhao needs 2 frames, of course, to win this group. Yeah, I mean, you can't fathom it, really. Black off the spot. But we've seen all sorts missed today.
Yeah, and worryingly for Hammad Miah, that wasn't a marginal miss either. Well,
foul.
Zhao knocks in the black unintentionally.
Hammad Miah.
Interestingly, only one previous meeting between these two, and Miah prevailed 5-3 in the last 64 of the German Masters in 2018. And it wasn't as though Zhao was playing poorly. In that match, he had breaks of 116, 86 and 51. But it was Miah who got the verdict.
Table 2, they're getting underway in the next match here. Noppen Sengam has won 3-1 against Ashley Hugel. So Hugel staying on to play Stephen Hallworth. But of course, Sengam and Hamilton, that's the last match. That's going to be the meaningful one in that group. But they're playing catch-up there. Zhao goes for a long one and will be concerned as he goes back to his seat. Interesting, actually, Stephen Maguire, of course, he beat him quite heavily in the second round of the World Championship, and he said that his strategy for that match was actually to leave long balls on. He said, OK, if he pots them, he may well do some damage, but if he misses them, then I know I can take advantage, and that the strategy definitely worked. He actually, I think, put him under a bit of pressure to get those long balls, and they weren't going in.
Basically throwing down the gauntlet, Dave.
Hey.
Yeah, and you know that is the mark of a clever player, which Maguire is. You know, because most people would think I can't afford to leave him anything, but actually he did the opposite.
Nine.
So this second session of the day began at 5 o'clock. Both tables restarted simultaneously. And on this table, we've had 2 matches finish before the first match finished over on table 2. So they're appreciably behind the clock. And I think with Miah, the way he plays, at one point he was playing at an average of 13 seconds a shot earlier. With the way Miah and indeed Zhao play, I can't imagine this is going to take a great amount of time either.
.24.
Well, important for Miah to make a good start because he needs to win the match to win the group.
25.
He's a golden chance, really.
That one was not clean. I think sometimes he plays a little too quickly for his own good. Not 31. So much the selection of the shots, Dave, but he plays the shot really quickly after getting down and addressing the ball.
32.
See, that's so loose.
Yeah, this is the thing. Return to, you know, it's no good just potting good single balls. You've got to try and control things, and he hasn't done. So back to safety.
Hammad Miah,
really was
32.
Prime scoring opportunity there. Imagine I know maybe it's an unfair comparison, but imagine a Neil Robertson coming to the table with the balls where they were. It'd be a guaranteed frame-winning break.
1.
The sole intention there was returning the cue ball to balk, which he's done well. The red going in. Pure and simple fluke.
Brown ball. Zhao Xintong 1.
Well, he's got himself in, so let's see how he fares. There's a lot of excitement around him, quite understandably. UK Championship last season, and it didn't take long, as it doesn't these days, for people to get on his back and say, well, you know, he needs to back it up. Well, literally about 6 weeks later, he won another tournament, the German Masters, so it didn't take him long at all. And of course, in that final, he beat his good friend and compatriot Yan Bingtan 9-0.
Difficult to guarantee anything in modern day snooker days.
16.
It would be astounding, considering his relative youth and the way he plays the game, if he didn't win more ranking titles.
Absolutely,
17.
and I think one of the keys for him, he seems to really genuinely enjoy it. Whenever you see him, he's smiling. He doesn't look like a man under pressure. He's exactly where he wants to be, playing snooker. He did come unstuck, didn't he, at the Tour Championship? He had that
24.
good lead in the opening round, which he surrendered, and played the World Championship. First time he'd ever played a best of 25 on the Pro Tour, and he lost out to Maguire. But this is all a learning curve. He's only 25. Going to see a lot of him, I'm sure, in years to come.
$32. 33. 40. 41.
Terrific judgment of that cannon. It wasn't just about making contact with the reds, it was about making contact precisely, and that's what he did.
48.
Found the join, look at this. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful shot. So with the black, he's 16 ahead.
55.
Yeah, following through here for another black, and the reason for this, he'd be
56.
24 in front if this goes in. Still needs the awkward yellow, but he doesn't have to worry about positional considerations on the green. Has to worry about the black though.
Zhao Xintong 56.
All of that good work undone by just a total lapse in concentration.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. He was trying to play accurate position to the yellow, took his eye off the pot on the black.
2. 'Hammad Miah 2.
Well, that was simple, but reasonably effective. And look at the balls. They're in the open. They're well capable of pinching this.
Thank you.
Swerve around this black. George is joining us. This is the group decider. Zhao Xintong needs a draw, so he needs 2 frames to win the group. Hammad Miah has to win the match.
Well, he'd laid 2 good snookers in a row, Miah. That one, though, got away. But so did the green for Zhao. Well, he missed the green there because he quite clearly snatched. Haven't seen much evidence of that today from him. But it's rare you see Zhao snatch at anything. That's one of his great attributes. He's so calm, it seems.
Sam.
Yeah, he's part of that Chinese contingent in Sheffield. They play snooker every day in the academy. Fully sort of match fit when they come to tournaments like this, even though it's the first one of the season. So, despite that missed black earlier,
18.
it is Zhao Xintong who wins the opening frame, and of course that
Zhao
means
Xintong.
he only needs 1 more and he'll be the group winner.
He's not been flawless, but he has been fluent. Zhao Xintong. Prime example of that was the previous frame. Wanted some beautiful balls, especially under pressure at the end. So Zhao 1-0 up. Remember, a draw for him in this match will be sufficient to win the group.
Yes, his new status in the game was underlined when he was invited out to Singapore recently to help open the Ronnie O'Sullivan Academy there with Ronnie O'Sullivan, who I know thinks the world of him. And that's been one of the real positives the last couple of years, the emergence of Zhao and Yan Bingtao. It's not all on the shoulders of Ding Junhui now. Of course, with no tournaments in China at the moment, it's important to keep the interest going, which they're certainly doing. You just felt that was nailed on that red, didn't you? Even though it was a tough shot. Knocked so many of those in. Brilliant.
The black has followed. Nothing too extravagant.
8.
Now he goes into them.
9.
His big problem here is that the back of the pack is quite flat. those stuns rather than screws into the reds. He didn't deserve that red dropping into the middle pocket, so thankfully it stayed above ground.
16.
Extreme right-hand side on the cue ball, as we saw there.
17.
Stunning into the reds. Really good job made of it. And now the frame he needs, I'm not going to say he's at his mercy, but it's there for him.
22.
Made 2 centuries today. On his first day of the season, he's good going because these are short matches. There's not a lot of time to get into any sort of flow. Flat, a good recovery here. But blue has let him down.
Zhao Xintong, 23.
Didn't want the kiss on the green, but it's quite obvious. Zhao can't get through to the red closest to the top right-hand pocket. The other red is in the way. Plenty in the way now. That was a revolution away from being a perfect shot.
Looks like Stephen Hallworth has won his first frame of the day on the other table. Against Asher Hugel, the first frame of that match. Which is good news because he'll be commentating with us tomorrow, so we wouldn't want him to come here not win any frames at all.
Well, I must say again, over the last couple of days, really enjoyed working with Sean Murphy.
Yes, he's obviously a great player still, and someone who is interested in doing more media side as well. Just loves the game, loves being involved in it. Brilliant. What's a great ball, doesn't he, Hammad Miah? Obviously a heavy degree of safety in the shot as well, but even so, it flew in. Good yellow as well.
3.
The opening red was the kind of shot that can really get you going, inspired.
4.
Well, he can't afford, of course, to lose another frame if he has ambitions of winning the group. Zhao only needs 2, so got to win these 3, and well, it stays out, and this is been the problem,
Hammad
really.
Miah,
He's been
8.
potting so many good balls and then just getting into positions and not quite following through. He's had a couple of half centuries today, but nothing better than a 57. Whereas, of course, Zhao's had 2 centuries, so he has made more of his openings count.
1.
And immediately targeting the ping ball to get it back on its spot in the business end of the table. And there you see the miss from Miah. Encapsulating his day. It's been brilliance followed by blunder. That's the kind of player he is. If he could cut out
7.
the latter, I think we could see him speed up the rankings.
8. Twelve. 13.
'Closing in on becoming the 3rd player through to the 2nd phase, the winners' week of the
19.
Bedvictor Championship League. The 2 winners
20.
yesterday, Aaron Hill from Cork in the Republic of Ireland and Rob Milkins, winner of the Gibraltar Open towards the tail end of last season. If Zhao were to succeed here, it would be 3 out of 3 in terms of entertaining players
26.
going through.
$27.
All a little awkward. Yeah, pink's not in. So 42 the lead. It's
27.
good lead where the balls are, but still 59 in theory on, although the black's tied up. Last thing Hammad Miah wanted to do was present an immediate chance back for Zhao Xintong, who needs 2 reds of the 4 to make it 2-0 barring snookers. Still running that
1.
cue ball. Just okay. Just okay for the pink.
Sam.
So this is frame and qualification ball. Not there.
Zhao Xintong.
No, and in the last
7.
shot he played, he freed the black, which has got to help Miah. Because he's 49 behind 51 on, he needs blacks, and it's in play now.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. 1. 8.
So much in Zhao's favour here, though. That was one of them. The green and the blue together. They've been split
Hammad Miah,
apart,
8.
fully intentionally, but what a sacrifice. Match ball stuck up.
1.
Well, he was a big favourite coming in today, world number 6 and everything he'd achieved last year. He's justified it. So, whatever happens in the rest of this match, there still could be 2 frames. Zhao Xintong is going to be coming back for Winners' Week, and I'm sure the fans around the world will look forward to seeing him again.
Zhao Xintong 8. Frame conceded. Frame.
With
Zhao
4
Xintong.
snookers required, Hammad Miah concedes the frame. So, Zhao Xintong has done what he needed to do. He's completed his task of topping this group. It just remains to be seen From 2-0, can he go on to record his third win out of 3 today and top the group with maximum points? We'll find out after the break.
The Kazoo champion of champions.
He looked like he had it won. He looked like he lost it.
You can't say that's the killer blow. Well, you can say it was a hammer blow.
Two devastating breaks. He's on the brink.
101 for O'Sullivan. He's got a frame on the board. He looked mighty good in doing it.
What a way to open your account for the season. I get the feeling it will not be his last trophy this campaign.
He came, he saw,
Thank you.
he's conquered.
Zhao Xintong the break.
Zhao Xintong, 2-0 up. He's guaranteed a minimum of 7 points from this Group 4. He will top the group. Hammad Miah, he will be in second place regardless. Michael Holt in third. Adam Duffy bringing up the rear.
Yeah, it's one of those strange frames that you can get in a group format where not really anything on it. But Miah, he can still try and force the draw. You know, his pride comes into it, and sure, we'll see him attack. That's what he's done anyway. But he knows that positions can't change now. Hence that rather ambitious plan. Sort of the motorway shot, that, isn't it? He's already kind of in the car home.
One.
What I'd like to see, Dave, and you alluded to it in the previous frame, I'd love to see Zhao make another century here, because it would be rare, wouldn't it, to have a century in all 3 matches you play in a group of the ranking Championship League.
Definitely, yeah. Very much so. I seem to remember in the invitation event last year, he managed to, because they have a high break prize there in each group, he managed to swipe the money from Yambing Town. Made a massive total clearance, and then Zhao Xintong pipped him by 1 point. Of course, this was not long after that German final I mentioned, where he won 9-0. They are good friends, though, still.
9.
And when the COVID-19 pandemic is over,
10.
and they return to play in China, I'm sure they will be warmly greeted, treated as heroes. Not a very heroic shot onto the blue there. He caught it a little too thick. That's why he's not on the correct side of the blue.
Yeah, they're interesting, aren't they? Because they're quite different sort of players, really. Yambing Tao relies often on
15.
the tactical side. I mean, he won that longest ever frame at the Crucible against Mark Selby, so that tells you something, and beat him in the match. Zhao, of course, he's an all-out attacker. Deadly one at that.
16.
Just having to try and get back into ideal position here. He's not there yet, so he's got to try and keep it going with some potting. Well, he caught the yellow, but it's worked out okay.
21.
I know it doesn't seem now, Dave, but Hammad Miah hasn't prepared all that strictly for this tournament, apparently. Other family issues and stuff. So I think for him, world number 90 to get the
22.
second place in the group and £2,000, it's not a bad start to the campaign. And it was always going to be very, very difficult to unseat Zhao Xintong. I think it's fair to say he's not been
22.
at his best, far from it, but he's been good enough.
Yeah, which is all you have to be in any tournament.
When you look back at this group, I think two shots spring to mind. He had a very fortunate fluke against Adam Duffy. And also his opening pot from under the balk cushion off Michael Holt's break-off in the fourth frame. First match of the day. That was exceptional. He made 105 break from that to win 3-1. That was after Holt had made 75 to win the third and threatened
Hammad Miah
to salvage a draw. Can't see a draw coming here though, Dave, can you? Hammad Miah seems entirely dispirited and, as you say, mentally on the way home.
Well, he's sort of swinging his cue at them a bit, isn't he? And he was a bit unlucky actually from the yellow. He tried to get into them, didn't leave himself an easy red. But he was never going to play any sort of percentage shot. He was just going to try and pot it, which is understandable at this stage. No reason not to. Really drawing the match or losing it, there's no difference. That's just one of those, as I say, those weird situations.
7.
So he has to watch on. You know that Zhao will be back in the academy tomorrow as well. That's the other thing. Putting in the work for next engagement. Back for Winners' Week. That's a while away yet. That'll be the last week of July. And that, of course, is the next phase.
15.
The 32 group winners go into another 8 groups, each with 4 players. And the winner of each of those go into the last day, the third stage. We end up eventually with a knockout final. So last year,
22.
Dave Gilbert beat Mark Allen to win the whole thing.
23.
Yeah, what I recall about that was that Mark Allen, over the tournament as a whole, was undoubtedly the best player.
30.
But when it came to that shootout final,
31.
Gilbert thoroughly deserved to get the nod and the silverware.
So Zhao about
38.
to wrap things up. We'll hear from him at the end. You're delighted with his day's work. Only lost 1 frame all day.
46. 47. 54. 55.
'Can't make a third century now, but he might still take this out. Great style, great talent, and I think can only really improve. More experience he gains
58.
at the very highest level. World number 6 now, his highest ever position. This is that one, but it doesn't matter. He ends with a break of 58. It's job done for Zhao Xintong.